right, everybody, hello, this is Taro, and welcome back, and here is my non-written review, but just my video review of the Fall of Ulduar set. So, I have not really, I know what the cards do, but I do not know, I have not, really thought all these cards through in terms of scaling. This is just, my instinctive first thoughts on it. So, we got right here, just so you guys know, scaling points. I'm just going to be writing, star ratings and then plus or minus for it. So 8-star, we have Sargeras, and if you can see right here, you can see that Sargeras has a 67% win rate, and the next closest card, Forge of Will, a card that really is so strong it really should be banned, is a 10% worse. So yeah, Sargeras has his own tier. Alright, 7%, we have cards that should be banned, like Forge of Wills is up there. Simply, a lot of these cards are just there's some cards that really just should be banned. They break the game. 6%, these 6 stars, cards too powerful for the game. 5 stars, cards are class defining. 4 stars, cards that can swing the game. 3 stars, cards that are above average for the mana cost. 2 stars, cards that are average. Yeah, they're cards you have to take, you don't really want to take. 1 star, these are bad cards with situational upsides. And 0 stars, never pick. So, Fall of Ulduar mini set, let's go through these cards here. Alright, number 1, Runes of Darkness. 1 mana, discover... Okay, so we're starting with Dark Knight. 1 mana... Death Knight. 1 mana, discover weapon. Spend 3 corpses to give it +1/+1. Corpses, they're easy to come by. You play this in the later game, that's fine. So if we take a look... Let's just go over here. Because it's this, Death Knight weapons. So... I think that doesnn count. Alright, so what have we got? Bonebreaker, that's mediocre. Staff of the Premise, that's mediocre. Arcanite Ripper... That's good if you got the right deck for it. Frostmourne. Situationally great, situationally mediocre. Might of Menethil. It's a 4/2. You can freeze things. Sure. Corrupted Ashbringer. Situationally good. Soulbreaker. Situationally good. Rhinefang. Pretty bad. Alright. So if we say the 1s are pretty bad. The 3 here is pretty bad. So there is so you're pretty much always going to get a good card out of this. And then the ability to give it +1/+1, like Arcanite Ripper, maybe Corrupted Ashbringer +1/+1 would be absolutely insane. Soulbreaker, if you only got 1 weapon, that's fine. Might of Menethil, 5/3, that's good. Frostmourne, I'm not sure if you really want to give it +1/+1, because part of this is you want to be able to tempo this out as soon as you can. And if you're taking a ton of damage, taking care of minions, then you may not be able to break it and get the tempo out there. So, ultimately, what is this going to be? This is going to be probably like most of the other 1 mana Discover cards. And so those cards, those are roughly about anywhere between 3 and 4 stars for the bonus. So, first one here, I will say Runes of Darkness. I'll say it's a 4-star card. Alright. Next one here. Sickly Grimewalker. 3 mana, 2/3. After you summon an undead, give it poisonous. Now, because it says after you summon an undead, I'm pretty sure that this does not work with battle cries, or this plus the I forget the name. It's the 3/2. It's the 3 mana 2/1 that just blows up your board. Is it not Howling Blast? I forget the name of it. It's the Death Knight 3 mana 2/1 that blows up your board. Something is killing it. What's that guy's name? Class cards. Where are you? I cannot find you. Hardcore Cultist. Alright, that one. So, being able to blow up 6 mana, being able to blow up the entire enemy board, they might do it, but I don't think they're going to do it. So, basically, you give your hero power the ability to kill off anything that doesn't have a Divine Shield or something. That's obviously really good. That just pushes it into 5 stars. You can do this with the taunts, the Nerubian Swarm Lords or whatever. So you get 3/1/4 poisonous taunts that blow up everything. You can't just free kill them. You can do this plus Army of the Dead, which is an undead card. Use this, ram it into your opponents. There's a lot of different. There's plenty of undead in here. This is obvious. This is a great card. This is a 5-star card easily. I don't think it does enough to get the 6, but this is a card that can just win the game on its own. Because if this does not die, then you pretty much have a 2 mana kill anything on the board. And you can do that forever. And for is a decent amount here. So I'm going to go 5 stars on this. I think this is going to be one of these. Sorry here. I think this is one of these cards that just it makes Death Knight just like absolutely horrible to play against. All right. Sinister Soul Cage. Give a friendly undead +2/+2. Spend 5 corpses to summon a copy of it. All right. Undead here, so it works with undead, which generally has a surplus of corpses. So give a friendly undead +2/+2. Yeah. Summon. You're doing this to spend the 5 corpses to summon it. So I'm trying to think here. What would actually be worth it here? So if I go back here, let's just say, what are some undead kinds of cards? And let's say, like, what are some big undead cards here? Stitch Giant, eh. Okay, let's see. Bone Guard Commander, eh. You don't need that. Okay, so a lot of these things are battle cries, doesn't matter. Mirror Manipulator, eh. Hollow Hound, oh, forgot. Hollow Hound also works with the poisonous guy from before, the scaly whatever. So, Hollow Hound, get 2 Hollow Hounds, buff them. I mean, you can do that. No Muncher, you can play No Muncher, play this on a No Muncher, get double No Muncher. I mean, that's obviously great. Banshee, like you have to kill one Banshee, then the other Banshee summons a guy. Like there's things you can do here. I mean, there are cards that this is going to work with. Like Cool Ghoul. Get like spending 4 mana to summon a Cool Ghoul with a little bit of buff. That's eh. Chillfone Baron, that's eh. So I think this is a late game card. I don't think this is an early game card. It's undead, so at least you always have your hero power. And so it's like Absolute Wars, 6 mana, 2/3/3s. That's fine. I think this is going to be probably a 2-star card. I think it's too situational. I don't think there are cards you can combo this with, and that's pretty much what's keeping it out of being a bad card. But I think overall, that's just what it's going to do. All right. We go on to Death Knight. Then we go from Death Knight to Demon Hunter. So we start here. Sigil of Time. At the start of your next turn, draw 3 additional cards. So 3 mana, draw 3, that's good. But then you have the problem of you don't get the cards immediately. And if you want to draw, your like outside of something like I'm forgetting the name. The Mage, not Mage Scribe. The 4/4 Undead. Why am I forgetting all the cards here? All right. So the 4. Okay, so neutral 5 mana thing here. I'll turn off sparse data. Where are you? Ghost Rider. Thank you. All right. Ghost Rider gives you like 2 cards, but you really can't play them until the next turn. So this you get 3 cards, but you can't draw them or play them until the next turn. This is one of those that's like, yeah. I mean, I would say I would rather have an Arcane Intellect over this, just because you get those cards immediately, especially if you're out of cards, and that getting the cards now is better than getting the cards later, especially if you're fishing for an answer. So Sigil of Time here, I will say that this is probably, I'll say 3 stars for that one. Mindbender. Deal 1 damage for each card you have drawn this turn. So 4 mana, 4/4, deal 1. And then obviously there are some Death Knight. Excuse me. There are some Demon Hunter cards where you can draw a lot of cards and this can become powerful. So 4/4, deal 1. That's good. That's definitely better than like a regular 4-drop. Like, I'm trying to think here. Is it better than some of like the other cards here that are already in here? What's the one I'm thinking of? Like, is it better than Burrowing Scorpid? Probably not. Burrowing Scorpid, because of the stealth, I think it's better. Is there any other like 4 mana cards in here? I'm not sure. So probably going to be 3 stars. I don't think it breaks 4 stars. Yeah. I don't think it does enough to break into the 3 to 4 stars. I'd say 4-star minus. I don't think it does enough to break into like the high 4-star cards. Like if you have the right deck for it, sure. But then you also need to be able to draw the cards to make this work. All right. Serenite Shambler, Battlecry. If you've cast 5 or more spells this game, give your hero +4 attack this turn. Casting 5 or more spells is not impossible, but by the time you draw it, the 4 attack is probably not going to matter all that much. So what is it? It's 2-drop with a mild effect. That's a 2-star card. So that's Serenite Shambler. Alright. Next one here. We got Druid cards. Arrow's Soilizer. Battlecry and Death Rattle summon a 2/2 Treant. So it's like any of those summon 2/2 cards, except you get a third one off of that. And Treants are good. Treants, like there is Treant synergy. Like I have been torturing myself trying to play Druid because Druid is a fun class. So it's fun. Doesn't mean it's good. I've lost way too much trying to make Druid work. I've given up on making Druid work. It can't work in this meta. So the Arrow Soilizer, like maybe if things get toned down, this would be a good card. I think it's going to be probably like let's say let's say again low 4 stars, just because it is a lot of tempo and because those treants can actually matter. Like would I rather have this? Would you rather have this, or would you rather have the what's its Fair Arborist? Oh, Fair Arborist is only down here. Okay, yeah. I'm thinking like this is comparable to Fair Arborist. So yeah, it's not that good. Okay, I'm going to knock it down to 3 stars. Like this is what I have to do when I like talk to myself, figure out what works and what doesn't. Contaminated Lasher. If you've cast 4 or more spells this game, refresh 4 mana, 5 more spells this game, refresh 4 mana crystals. Again, it's going to happen late game, not going to be as impactful. So what is it? It's a 2-drop. That's a 2-star card. Next. Forbidden Fruit. Spend all your mana. Choose one. Gain that much attack this turn or twice as much armor. So if you can get through a taunt, this is a Pyroblast. The problem is that Pyroblast goes through taunts, this doesn't, and there's a lot of times where you need that Pyroblast. So it's good in the sense that Druid does need that little bit of extra reach. And being able to play this for like 7 damage for 7 mana, sometimes that is enough reach for it. So is Pyroblast good? Yeah, not really. Like Pyroblast, you can see right here, Pyroblast is this. I think it's probably worse than Pyroblast. I don't think it's bad. I think it's in the same range. That's going to be a 3-star card. Like the armor's useful, but there's like, but gaining 20 armor, like we've had enough games. We've played enough games where we've gained like 20 or 30 or 40 armor and it just didn't matter. Like it just delayed the inevitable. All right. Hunter cards. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because these ones are tiny. Celestial Shot. Deal 3 damage. Your next spell has spell damage +2. The obvious combo in Constructed is going to be this, plus you play the 4/4 Rush that improves because of spell damage, and you get 3 4/4s. That's the obvious combo. This is Arena. You don't really get that combo. Like, you might end up just like wasting this on an Explosive Trap. Like, there's certain, or you might waste this on an Arcane Shot. I think it's useful. I mean, this effect, it does last a long while, so Celestial Shot is okay, but I don't really think that this is all that great. I think it's borderline 3 stars. I'll say 3-star minus on this one. Like, if you got the right deck, sure, but I think the spell damage is going to be kind of wasted with it. Twisted Frostring, Rush. Death Rattle, summon a Chimera with stats equal to this minion's attack. So, you have a 4/4 with 3/3 Rush that when it dies, summons a... Okay, the Chimera does not have Rush, right? So this is one of those ones where I kind of knew the card, but I didn't actually think about it. Because my first thought was if the Chimera has Rush... So, actually, I'm going to go right here. I'm going to look this up right here because I am not sure if the Chimera has Rush. Because that changes a lot about it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, looking at it, looks like it does not have Rush. Okay. So I initially thought that the Chimera would also have Rush, so this is going to be a strictly better, whatchamacallit, this would be a strictly better Restless Monk. Now, still, this is 4 mana, deal 3, at the absolute worst, summon a 3/3. And if you buff this up with various things in there, then you can summon a 4/4 or a 5/5 or even better than that. So this is easily a 4-star card. I think it breaks into 5. I think the upside of this, because Hunter does have tools, which are really good for this, I do think this breaks into like a low 5-star card. Like I would rate it probably low 90s for potential. Partially because of this. Bestial Manas. Give 1 attack to all minions in your hand, deck, and battlefield. So this basically means like every single minion that you have, not spells, but minions, are going to be buffed. This means like you're going to have more damage. This means anything with charge or rush is going to be more effective. This means like any low attack things, like if you have a 1/3 becomes a 2/3, that becomes significantly better. I think this is potentially an insane card. Like, I take a look, you have Druid. Druid has like similar Power of the Wild. So Power of the Wild, the health buff is not that great. You generally play Power of the Wild because you want to buff a bunch of things and then attack face or do a trade. And this is the Power of the Wild that hits everything in your deck, or every minion in your deck. So, is it better than Power of the Wild? Yes. Is it enough to break into 5 stars? I don't know. Because it doesn't do enough by itself and you need the right thing for it. So I am going to say 4 stars for this one. I think this is a great card. I think this is a card Hunter is going to like. Alright. Go back to normal here. Alright. So Hunter, next one would be Mage. Mage. If you played an elemental last turn, deal 7 damage randomly split between all enemies. Is this necessary? So let's see here. Mage. Okay, so playing an elemental is not all that hard. Like you've got firework, you've got synthesize here. You've got where is it? The stupid card that just wins games by itself, Grand Finale. Like, so you're going to have elementals. So you do this, and then 7 damage randomly split between all enemies. That's okay. It's all enemies. So that's Avenging Wrath was like 6 mana for 8 damage split between all enemies, and that was acceptable. And that was acceptable. This is 5 mana. All you have to do play an elemental, and you get a 7/4. I think this is great. Now, I'm trying to think here. How good is it? Is it better than the 4/4 that draws cards? I don't know. Where is that? It's not. I'm trying to figure out where is it. The 4/4 that draws cards. It's not Firework. It's not Star Scryer. Inquisitive Creation. No. Arc Splitter. No, not Grand Finale. It's not. Okay, let me find it. Mage, class cards, 4 mana. And get rid of Undead. Unchained Gladiator. Unchained Gladiator. Where is Unchained Gladiator? Unchained Gladiator, I do think Hearth Arena is underrating it a little bit. Because again, like you look at among these things, like is it Inquisitive Creation? No. But it's performing better than Ring Toss, and Ring Toss is over here. So I do think this is what Unchained Gladiator is one of those cards, Hearth Arena, and I think that it would be performing at about a 4 to 5 star range. So is this 4 to 5 stars? I think high 4. Tainted Remnant, I would think, is a high 4 card. Talking to myself. I don't know, like the right deck, it becomes 5 stars. But you play this and you blow up the board. You get a giant thing on the board. You can potentially get lethal out of this if your opponent doesn't have that much on the board. You can, with luck, remove things. That's great. Okay. Void Scriptures. Discover a spell. If you have enough mana to play it, cast a copy of it at a random enemy. So, thankfully, because it is 2 mana, that means you cannot get a box. Unthankfully, one second here, let's take a look. Mage spells. No, wrong side, wrong section here. All right. So you can't play Pyroblocks or Puzzle of Yogg-Saron. So, but you do get a free, like if you play this in the late game, you can get a free copy of Deep Freeze. You can get a free copy of Arcane Defenders. You can get a Firelands Portal. You can get an Elemental Inspiration for 2 mana. You can get Blizzard. You can get like Wisdom doesn't matter. You draw a card. Star Power is like absolutely insane. Volume up. So there is a lot of stuff. Like, and there's some stuff down here that's mediocre, so it's not great. But you have like Discovery of Magic, which, well, I guess that works outside your deck. But, or like Rewind, you have a like Vast Wisdom is one of those cards people always take. So I think this is great. I think this is a 4-star card. I think the RNG hinders it, but the upside of this is incredibly powerful. And then also, if you just need a Pyroblast for the next turn, this is good. Meddlesome Servant. If you've cast 5 or more spells this game, draw 2 cards. Again, Mage is the one class. Like Mage and Priest are the 2 classes where I think this is possible. So I think this is a 3-star. Well, a 3/4 would be a 3-star card. I don't think it breaks 4, but I do think it's a 3-star card. So Meddlesome Servant. It is possible. That's what I'm going to say with this one. Okay. Next one, Paladin. Muscletron. Battlecry. Give all minions in your hand +1/+1. Forge +2/2 instead. And we get the forged copy here. You can look at the Super Jacked Muscletron. Alright, so this is better than a Grime Street Outfitter, which would be here, a 72. I think it's better than that. It's somewhere between that and it's between a Imprisoned Scrap Imp, which, okay, that's a really, really, really big gulf. But anyway, it's somewhere in that range. So here's the deal. If you compare this to an Imprisoned Scrap Imp, you play the Scrap Imp on 2, and part of the Scrap Imp's value. You can coin it on 1, Hero Power on 2, you get a fully buffed hand. Or you play this on 2, and then you coin it on 3, and you get a buffed hand. You don't get that option to coin it, and you need to forge it on 2 in order to do this. But you get the 2/4, which can attack rather than the 3/3. So I'm thinking it's the potential on curve is incredibly powerful. But you're Paladin, so how much are you going to be able to recover? Like, Paladin doesn't have the or the Abyssal or like any of those cards that can just like wipe the board. They don't really have that. They're a class that's kind of like get on board, get big things on board, and then snowball. So these are all the things that I'm considering. So it's not 6 stars like Scrap Imp. So the question is it 5 or is it 4? And I am leaning. It's going to be a high 4, I think, for me. I could see it being a 5-star card. I could see it being there, but I think it's going to just be a high 4 for me. I don't think it does enough to hit that 5 range. Alarmed Security Bot. Death Rattle. Just draw another minion, set its attack, health, and cost to 5. So a 5 mana 5/5 is not good in the current arena. So you have to draw a minion, and it either has to have like a really good Death Rattle, or Taunt, or Lifesteal, or like something good with that. So it's a 4/3 that draws a card. I mean, that's not bad, but the card's probably going to be worse than the card that's already in your deck, and it's the Death Rattle. So card that I compare it most to, there is the Paladin 4/3 that like draws a card if you Jitterbug here. Jitterbug. Well, Jitterbug has like the high potential there, but it's a 4/3 that draws a card, but it's a Death Rattle. That's going to be probably around the 3-star range. Yeah. Okay. Talk myself back down to 3-star range. Because like even a 5/5 taunt for 5 is not really that great. You need some like super death rattle or something there. Keeper strength. Give a friendly minion +2/+2. Deal its attack damage to all other minions. So, your absolute worst case scenario. You hero power. You give your 1/1 plus you give your 1/1 this, and then you deal 3 damage to all other minions. Okay, so it's all other minions, it's not enemy minions. There is the potential to blow up your board, which hinders that. The upside is if you get like one giant minion with like 5 attack or more, like you can play a 5/4, play this, make it into a 7/6, just clear the entire board. I mean, that is extremely good. That is extremely powerful. That doesn't really cost anything. As I said, you have a 3/3 that just deals 3 to everything for 6 mana, and that's always going to be good. I think this is fine. I think the potential to just blow up your opponent's board makes this a 5-star card for me. I think that is that good. All right, so keeper strength 5. What have we got next? We got Priest. Twilight Torrent. Choose a friendly character. If it's friendly, restores itself. If it's an enemy, deal 3 damage. And 2 mana, deal 3 damage. That's 3-star range. The healing, maybe the healing matters. Maybe it doesn't matter. I mean, that's fine. It doesn't really change it. Twilight Torrent's just going to be 3. Alright. Next one here, Shadow Touch Cavalier. Your next healing effect deals damage instead. We've had cards like this. I don't think, like, we've had cards like this back in the old days of Balanced Arena. I don't think, like, there aren't really that great of healing effects for a Priest right now. Like, let's get, so for example, like a lot of things, like there's the Cleric, the 2/4 that heals for 6, and then that deals 6 damage to your entire board. I mean, that sucks. I mean, you look at Priest's big spells. Where are really the healing spells? You have a bunch like Cannibalize. I mean, that's negative. I mean, what healing spells? Holy Nova. I mean, that hurts your guys as well. Grace of the High Father. I mean, I guess that turns it into a nuke. Apotheosis. I mean, it says healing effect, so I assume lifesteal means it would kill itself. Like Penance. Deal 3 damage. Lifesteal, deal 3 damage to a minion. So you're going to hurt yourself on this. Like, are there even cards that work with this? I mean, Renew? Flash Shield? Are you taking those cards? Like the 3/4 Corrupt guy from Dark Moon Races? Like, okay, you don't have to corrupt it. Wow. The problem is, okay, so that's the issue. I can't think of cards this works with in the current meta. So it's a 2-star card just because it's a 1/3. Like, I mean, I guess you can use it with your hero power, and I guess maybe that moves it up to 3 stars. Like, but 3 mana, 1/3 deal 2 damage. I guess I give it a low 3 stars because it works with the hero power, but you don't really have healing things that this is going to work with. I mean, okay, legendary Soulburner Varia. After a friendly undead dies, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero and gain a random Shadow Priest spell. Does not count itself. Alright, so Priest does get a decent amount of undead. If we take a look, undead. I mean, just from class cards, I mean, Psychic Conjurer, you always take that. Mind Eater, you take that. Shadow Ascendant's pretty good. I mean, legendary. You take that just sometimes. You take the Necromancer sometimes just for the extra thing. You got the Taunt that restores health, that summons an undead. So, this is good. Is it as good as the Rogue Legendary? There's the Rogue Legendary, like, is it Putricide? Where after a minion dies on both sides, add a concoction to your hand. Like, not even close. So, I mean, It has to be a friendly undead as well. So deal 2 damage to enemy. This is it. I want to say this is a constructed card. I want to say you're not really going to get that much from this. It's a little, like, you'll probably get at least one thing off of it, and that's good. Is that enough to make it a 4-star card? Maybe 4 stars. I will be nice and say 4 stars, mostly because you get a random shadow spell, or shadow priest spell. Oh, God. Shadow priest spell, you don't even get Scourge. Alright, the fact you don't get Scourge off of this actually knocks it down to 3 stars for me. Because you got like the Geist, the 3-1, and that can just randomly give you Scourge and win the game, and this can't even do that. So yeah, that knocks it down for me. Okay, what do we got here? We got Rogue. Battlecraft, you control another mech, deal 4 damage. I said for the set, if Rogue was going to work, Rogue is going to need to be like mechs. So let's take a look here. Let's see what does. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's see mechs. Let's get rid of this. What mechs does Rogue have? Beatboxer, Disc Jockey, Snoop, Spider. Obviously, this curves with Mechanome Guide. This works with Drung Deconstructor. I mean, there are things this does work with. You can play this with the Spark Bots if you want to take those. I think the upside is incredibly powerful. The fact that it can just be a 4/4, or the fact that sometimes it's just not going to work. Like Gorilla Bot. Gorilla Bot's a great example. Gorilla Bot, you can generally get it to work, but you kind of have to work around to get it to work. So this one here, like, you can get it to work, but it's going to take a while for it to work. So if we take a look, like in a Rogue Gorilla Bot. Where was Gorilla Bot? Gorilla Bot is like right here. So it's going to be better than Gorilla Bot, definitely. The upside is much stronger. Okay, I'm going to say 4. I'm going to say it breaks into 4. Not a 5. I don't think it's good enough for 5, but it breaks into 4, and in the right deck, it's a 5. All right. Tentacle Grip. Deal 3 damage, combo, +1/+1, get a Chaotic Tendril. All right. Chaotic Tendrils. By the way, I'm just going to skip over here if you do not know. Chaotic Tendrils. Cast a random 1-cost spell. Improve your future Chaotic Tendrils. Alright. I believe that the improvement only changes the spell that it casts. So you have a 1/1 that casts a random 1-cost spell. Then you have a 1/1 that casts a random 2-cost spell, and so on and so on. So, are these good? And I'm going to skip ahead here. Curse of the Flesh, Warlock. Enemy minions cost health next turn instead of mana next turn. There is a very, very, very decent chance. Like if you... Let's go here. Okay. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Spells, 1 mana. Actually, there's a lot of 1 mana spells. Okay, never mind. I was going to say, there is a chance that just one of these things, you play this, you get that, but it's not that low of a chance. All right. Anyways, is this good? Better. Okay, it's not better than a 1/3. It's probably better than a 2/1. Probably better than a 1/2. It's not better than like a 1-drop that does something. Like I take like as an example. What was the card? Like Mechanome, the 2/1 that gives you a whatchamacallit, gives you a random spare part over this easily. So Chaotic Tendrils, are they good cards? Yeah, they're better than 1/1s. That's pretty much all you need to know here. All right. So 2 mana. Okay, deal 3 damage. Get a 1/1 that might do something, might screw you over. How good is this? I don't think the combo does enough to like really impact it. So it's 2 mana, deal 3. That's 3 stars. And the potential to screw yourself, it happens. Assembly line. Discover a mech from another class. It's a 1 mana discover card. There are some decent mechs from other classes. So you can't get like the Mimiron, which is probably what hurts it. And you can't get Mimiron, and you can't get the Amalgam. So that does hurt it. So overall, it's just like a 3-star card. All right. Infested Launcher, 4/4 Taunt, Death Rattle, gain 2/1/1 Chaotic Tendrils. Again, you get 2/1/1s out of this, but is that really all that great? You get a random 1-cost spell and a random 2-cost spell. I don't know. I'm going to say that this is 3. This is for Shaman. The potential to screw yourself just exists with these cards. Shock Hopper, Battlecry, gain a random overload card. Alright, we know, like, for example, I'm just going to go to Mage quickly. Mage, Babbling Book, where is Babbling Book? Gain a random spell. Where's Babbling Book? Oh, right there. Okay, Babbling Book is a rare. Forgot that it was a rare. Anyways, that's a 4-star card. Shock Hopper, 4-star card. Doesn't need to be, not much needs to be said there. Conductivity. The next spell that you cast this turn also targets adjacent minions. To me, this is a 1-star card. It just doesn't do enough. I don't think there aren't enough like big damage things to make this work, and there aren't like you can use this with Hex and get like 3 hexes on something. I mean, that is a possibility. I don't think there's enough stuff to make this worthwhile by itself. All right, Warlock. At the end of your turn, get a 1/1 Chaotic Tendril. I mean, that's decent. Like, it is an infinite effect. Again, do you want these? I don't know. So it's a 3-mana 2/5 that gives you something. I'll say this is 4. Just for that effect, but I'm not really sure on it. Because Piranha, the 2/5 that gave you Piranhas, that's like an easy 5. So this gives you stuff here. Curse of the Flesh. Enemy minions cost health instead of mana next turn. This is a 0-star card. Do not take this. This will kill you if it comes out of the tentacles. But the situations where this is useful is extremely limited. So yeah, basically never take this. Encroaching Insanity. Both players take fatigue damage twice. Again, this barely does anything. It barely reaches 1. Because this at least does something. But it's like extremely, extremely low. Okay, Warrior, Sanitize. Deal damage equal to your armor to all minions, including yours. Forge, gain 3 armor first. So, if you forge this, hey, guess what? What do you get? You get a Fire Sail for 6 mana. So, I mean, late game, you can use things and you can blow up boards with this. So, it's not that bad. But I would easily have a Fire Sail over this. So, if I say Fire Sail, what's Fire Sail at? Fire Sail's 4 stars. Is this better than Fire Sail? I don't think it's 4s. I'm going to say it's a high 3-star card. I'll say 3 stars for this. A little too situational. What? 2 Sanitize, Forge Effects. Okay. Battle-Worn Faceless. Transform into a copy of a damaged minion. I think this is 4. I don't think this is great because you have to hold this for the late game, and you do have things that you can play in the late game where this can be useful. So that's where I'm going there. General Vexus, Rush, Battlecry, gain 4 armor, Death Rattle, lose 4 armor to resummon this. So if you have armor, that you can just basically wipe the entire board and just keep resummoning this. So this is, you need the armor, and that's what's preventing it from being like a 7-star card. But just the fact you can get this to go off twice because of the Battle Cry, this is easily a 6-star card. So this is probably one of the best cards in the set. All right, and then finally here, let's go over here. Chaotic Tendril, don't go for it. I'm going to say it's like barely a 1-star card. Like I already covered that one. Prison Breaker, if you've cast 5 or more spells this game, deal 3 damage to all enemies. Again, I don't go for it. By the time you get to this, like that's not going to be a game breaker. So I'm going to say Prison Breaker probably just 2 stars because it's a 4 mana 4/4. Maybe does something. I have Chaos Battle 5/4 Battle Cry. Get 2 Chaotic Tendrils. 5 mana 5/4 is bad. The Tendrils do not make up for this. I will say again, this is just like, these are constructed cards. I will say 2 stars for this. And then finally, Cho'Gall, Twilight Chieftain. Taunt Life, Steal, start the game, 25 chance to corrupt the game with a random anomaly. Anomalies, okay, they're going to be in Arena for a bit. So, I mean, we got some more Clown Fiesta for that. So, overall, 6 mana, 6/7 Taunt Life, Steal. That's going to be a 3-star card. But that's basically it for this. And I'm not even sure if this will be in Arena. Alright, that's it. Thank you guys for watching this. So I'm not that hyped about this set. There aren't that many cards that are going to be making that much of an impact. And I'm probably just going to pull my hair out even more with just like the random bullshit that I lose to. But anyways, for those of you who are watching, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the arena. Take care.